guys, it's Kelly here and I'm back with another video. This video is featuring some products from the latest Crafty Meraki release. I did another one earlier in the month when it was first released, but today we're using this adorable little rainbow, it's called Over the Rainbow Mini Slimline, and then the Romeo and Juliet, as well as the Crazy Cupid Love. They're kind of a little play on words. It's adorable. So we're going to be actually making two cards out of this one background. And then I'm going to tell you about a third way that I learned from another crafter. But before we get into all of that, Crafty Meraki is in the middle of having a customer appreciation sale. And so each day is kind of a different sale now through the 21st of February. I don't ink blend this fast. I've sped it up. Anyway, Crafty Meraki is doing a customer appreciation sale for this month, and every day is a different sale. Today's sale is 25% off stamps, dies, and stencils. It has a code. It'll be linked below. And then they are very generously giving a portion of their sales to the Turkey Hurricane Relief Fund. So just know if you decide to make a purchase this month that it will be going towards a very good cause. So I just wanted to put that out there. So here, I really loved the Over the Rainbow die. I thought it was super cute. You guys know how I feel about rainbows. And so I decided I was going to do just a quick blended background and then get a 2-for-1 so that I could use two different sets with this. So I chose to use Distress Inks. You can use whatever works for you. Just know that if you use something that does not work with water, the second part of what I do to the background, a portion of it won't work. Not that I think it's a big deal. I don't. But anyway, so I like to I'll blend all of mine twice. The great thing about die cutting through your ink blended backgrounds is they don't have to be perfect because you're going to die cut through them, so nobody is going to see them in their entirety. Here's the part that I'm talking about might not work as well. The perfect pearls will. They'll work on anything. But the first portion of it where I do just a little bit of clean water like splattered on the background and it kind of blooms, that's only going to work if you're using ink that reacts with water. So if you like that look, probably use something that reacts with water. If not, you can mix up the perfect pearls with a little bit of water to get the shine portion of it, and that should work on whatever ink you are using. And then once this is done, I'm going to set it aside to dry. I'm going to do my stamping while it's drying, and then we'll come back to the backgrounds. So here, I'm working in a regular size Misty, and I have filled up the whole thing with two different pieces of cardstock, so that I can fit everything I need to stamp. I am stamping my two little gnomes, 3 of the cupids, and the bird I'm going to stamp twice so that I can use it 2 times. There's a bunch of, these are just really cute sets, and you can use them for other things, maybe not the cupids. The cupids are probably pretty Valentine's Day, but the gnomes I think you can for sure. So now that this is dry, I'm going to go ahead and die cut this out. My background is a little bit bigger than my Slimline, but that just gives me the opportunity to kind of line it up in the right hand corner if I want more pink, or in the left hand corner if I want more yellow. Just gives me a little bit more to make a decision with, I guess. So now once that is done, I'm going to run it through, and then here is the whole die together. In hindsight, there's a couple of things I would have done differently, and so I'm going to tell you what I would do differently. But first, I'm going to die cut it again out of a white piece of cardstock, and this is going to give me the outline piece that I'm going to need to use the negative portions. So first things first that I would have done differently is I would have glued the solid portion of the rainbow background down first. The reason that I would have done that is because even though these are all connected, the stuff in the middle is kind of a little bit free floating. It's connected on the edges, but its exact placement isn't necessarily going to be exactly where it would be when you die cut it. So you'll see here in a second, I'm going to put it down. And fortunately, because I always need a little bit of wiggle room, I use Tembo and a multi-glue It's my preferred glue, especially for things like this, and it doesn't necessarily dry immediately. So now when I take out this large section, I can see pretty quickly that it's not fitting in perfectly. And that's because some of my rainbows have moved just a smidge. So I can pick them back up and get everything aligned. Now here I have no adhesive on my rainbow portion. I'm just making sure I get everything else lined up before my glue dries. Then I can pop that piece back out and glue it down. But if I had to do it all over again, because I do choose to work on paper that's just a little bit bigger and then trim it down, I would have just glued this and then put the white overlay on top of it. Like I would have fit the overlay to the background instead of fitting the background to the overlay. I hope that makes sense. So let me tell you, because what you're about to watch is me fit all of these little, I mean, you're not going to watch the whole thing because I didn't want to bore you to death, but I'm going to take the negative pieces from each of the rainbows and I'm going to fill them in so that everything was super matchy-matchy. But I was watching, I don't do reels because I don't see a conversion rate, and reels to me, like you're always having to put up new content. You're always chasing it. And so that's why I choose not to do them. Every once in a while, if I find something that's like super fun, I'll do a reel for it. But otherwise, it's not something that I'm usually doing. However, I do immensely enjoy watching other people's reels. So I'm super grateful that other people make them because they're super fun to watch, and I especially like the little crafty ones. Anything art related really is what I want to watch on my reels. So anyway, Erica put up this reel using this same die, and the way that she did it was so brilliant. She actually embossed the die first. Then she just went in and colored all the little lines for the rainbows, like right on the embossing portion. Then she cut a second piece in white and then just fit it right over it. And then everything was colored, and it was brilliant. It was like so stinking smart. And so I sent her a message. We're going to move on to the coloring now. The reason why you just see a bunch of just E's is because I mixed up the skin tones that I used. You know, not everybody has the same skin tone. And so I think that it's important to represent those different things so that if there's, people watching, I want them to see themselves represented. And I also want any future crafters that see themselves to see, oh, that little Cupid looks like me. And so I went from super pale to middle of the road darkness for skin tones and a couple of different hair colors. I colored the gnomes to look like me and my husband. So she's like super pale and he is a little bit darker. But anywho, so I'm going to show you all of the Copic coloring and we'll kind of touch here and there. But basically for my Copic coloring, I always start with my lightest color, work out to my darkest, and then go darkest back into my lightest. And normally I use 4 colors, but because these images are a little bit smaller, I just used 3. And that worked for each skin tone. Like I didn't have any issues with that. So anyway, let's go back to Erica. So I saw her reel and I was like, hey, I'd really like to share this in my video. Is that cool with you? Because I think that it's super important to make sure that we're giving credit where credit is due, but also seeking permission to share somebody else's content. Now, I'm not showing you her video. I am going to link to her video, though, which is only on Instagram because Erica doesn't upload them as shorts. Erica upload them as shorts. So anywho, so if you have Instagram, you'll be able to pop over there and see it. I'm not sure if you click on the link and you don't have Instagram, if you'll be able to see it, but I hope that you give it a try because it's a good one and it's worth, the 1 minute and 30 seconds that the reel is to watch it. But anyway, her name. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, can I share this? And she was like, absolutely. Like, thanks for asking. Super nice. Most crafters are super nice. And I was like, what is your last name? Because it just, she has just a craft name. And she said it's Anderson, but, you can just use my channel name. So then I was like, well, how you want me to pronounce, how you pronounce that, girl? So her channel name, if you are from the US, you are going to get this. Her channel name is Erica Kaka Crafts. Kaka Crafts. That is her name. And so that is why I asked her how to pronounce it. And before I was like, dude, how do I pronounce it? And so she tells me and then follows up immediately with, she is Swedish. And so apparently in Sweden, kaka means like kooky or silly. And so that's how she picked it, because she's like, my style's a little bit kooky, a little bit, kind of like fun and whimsical. And I was like, she was like, I know that's not what it means anywhere else. And apparently she learned that when she moved, And I sent her back like all these laugh emojis. And I was like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to mispronounce it, because I didn't want to be on the internet calling your channel poo poo crafts. Because, like, obviously in the US, sometimes when people say, caca, it means it's poop. It's poopy. So we had a very good laugh over it. And I did tell her, I was like, I'm going to be sharing this conversation as story time. And so here I am doing just that. But it was very funny. And she, had made the comment. She was like, once I knew, it was like too late to change it. Like, it was too late to change it. So Erica is wonderfully talented with her hysterical craft name. And she does have a YouTube channel as well as, Instagram and all that stuff. So I will link her below. Please go check her out. She's a very talented artist. So just a funny story. Most times, I don't know that I've ever reached out to a crafter and had them be not nice. So I think that in this industry, by and large, we are very blessed to have such good, kind, spirited people. Speaking of the opposite of kind, spirited people, let's talk about this. So I had put up a video last week, and for some reason it was wildly popular. I'm super grateful for that. But it was like a rainbow card that had a real dramatic stenciling with the black. And it got a lot more views than I normally get, which is great. But apparently then it I don't know, it caught the attention of the bots. And so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all of these people were getting comments to their comments with a picture of me that said, that thank you for supporting my channel, and I am doing a giveaway, and contact me on Telegraph. Well, this is a scam. And I'm not the first person it's happened to. I think it happened to Christina Warner like 2 weeks ago or a month ago or something. But please don't click on those. If I am doing a giveaway, I will say it in my video. I will never comment on your comment and tell you I'm doing a giveaway and that you've won something, unless I have said it in the video. If I say in the video, hey, I'm doing a giveaway, and I will let you know via your comment. But if you have any question about whether or not that is me, please send me a message and ask me. Several people messaged me on Instagram. One lady who I know locally sent me a text message. Thank you, Linda, to let me know what was going on. If by chance this happens to you and your channel, the quickest way that I found, first of all, if somebody responds back to your comment like that, please report it. There's a little like ellipsis, like the 3 dots that are next to the comment, and you can click on that and report it. Please do report it. I was doing that, like comment by comment, reporting them to get rid of them. And then I was like, there's got to be a better way to do it. So I actually clicked on the profile, and it will, when you click on somebody's profile, it'll tell you how many comments they've left on your channel. And it was like well over 50 comments. So I'm glad that I stopped and took the time to try to figure out another way. So I actually went to their profile. I reported them on their profile, and then I blocked them, which automatically, when you block a user, it automatically removes any of their comments on your channel. So if this happens to you, that is the fastest way I have found to rid yourself of that situation. One lady did send me a message and say that she did click on it, and whoever was in contact with her was asking for like $80 for shipping for them to send her the prize. Not just in these situations, but in any situation, email, Instagram, Facebook. Like if somebody is asking you for money, it is a scam. I don't care if they say that they are a prince or a princess from some other country. I don't care if they say that they super love you. I don't care if they like everything you like, hate everything you hate. Like whatever their scam is, whatever they're offering. Sometimes they'll say people they love are in jail and they need to bond them out. Sometimes they'll call you and say people you love are in jail and you need to bond them out. Those things are all scams. Like, please don't ever click those links or send those people money. They are abhorrent people who are stealing from good, kind people by basically bullying them or scaring them into paying money. So please don't do that. So that's that. So here, now we've done the hair, we've done the faces. Now you might notice on the little gnome, the man gnome that I've colored to look like Eric, he doesn't actually have a gray beard, but I don't know that I've ever seen a gnome with a colored beard. I mean, he does have some gray hair, which, you know, like any good dad, he says he got from our children. But I could not color the beard another color because gnomes have white beards. So in this version, Eric is white bearded. You know, I'm projecting into the future. But everything I have colored, now I'm just going to show you some color combinations because from here on out, I'm only going to use 2 color blends. Sandy Allnock once said in a video, probably said it in multiple videos, but if you spend time coloring a little bit, then you can really leave a lot out so that you don't have to do a ton of detailed coloring. Now, I typically do because I enjoy that part of the process, but it's okay to not, and it will still be pretty. So we've done the detailed skin tones, we've done the detailed hair. Those things are going to be enough so that you don't even really notice that the other things aren't super detailed, that they're just little 2 color blends, because you're going to be so captivated. You're going to be so enraptured by the coloring of the hair and the skin tones. No, seriously though, your eye doesn't notice the other things. That's really the point. So if you spend a little bit of time coloring a couple of the things really well, and then you just use less colors or less dimension for the other things, the viewer's eye actually isn't even going to notice. So that's what I did. I spent the time coloring my focal points, my people, to the best of my ability. And then the other things, the accessories, like their clothes or the birds or the hearts, I only used 2 color blends and I didn't spend a lot of time coloring them because I had a lot going on here. I was making 2 cards. I was coloring how many different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different elements. So you get the point of what I'm trying to say here. So then once we do all of the coloring, we will then move on to fussy cutting. I know not everybody feels good about fussy cutting, but I didn't have the dies for this. And sometimes when I'm purchasing things, I don't buy the dies. I'm not mad at the dies, but sometimes it's just not in my budget. And so if it's between me buying a die and me having to fussy cut it or mask it, like sometimes I'm okay with buying another stamp set because I am a colorist. Now there's other people who are like, I super love the dies and they make everything easy, or maybe I don't have the dexterity that I used to have. So there's no shame either way, whichever way you go. But I did not have the dies for these. And since I colored them like my husband and I, you know that I had to have a blue dress on. I don't know that I would wear a pink hat, but I would definitely wear pink shoes. I feel like that is an accurate depiction of me. And then, so I'm just going to, like I said, do these little 2 color blends. For him, I colored his hat the same way. I just did it in the blue And I did his belt in yellow. Those things I actually just kind of cut out for the sake of time because we are doing a longer video, and I colored the hat the same way. So this is the finished coloring on this one. How you like that neon green? You remember my bird I told you about that died, that got eaten by the dog? Yeah, that green bird reminds me of that. I'm pretty sure I told that story. If I didn't tell that story, you leave me a message and I'll tell you the story about how my bird got ate. But anywho, so I fussy cut all these out. Once they were all fussy cut out, I did go in. This is a tuxedo black marker from Memento. This is a water-based marker. That is important because you don't want to use an alcohol-based marker to color your edges. Coloring the edges just gives a more finished look, kind of smooths out any rough edges you might have from cutting. But the alcohol marker will absorb into your coloring. So you want to use water-based. The last little bit of coloring I did is underneath where my characters were standing or sitting. In some cases, I gave them a little bit of shadow just to ground them. The one that is the Cupid that's holding the card, he's kind of like floating up above his cloud. I just put the shadow a little bit lower so that it looked like he was hovering. Then I went through, I glued everything flat because of, like, I have the multiple layers of cardstock. I just glued it flat. I didn't pop anything up. One thing to note with the fussy cutting, you'll see over there on the left-hand side, that little Cupid with the heart balloon. I completely cut out that balloon. I didn't try to salvage the string. I just cut them out as two separate pieces. And then later on, I will go back in and draw in the line. It just wasn't worth it to try to cut out something that small. Speaking of something that's small, I did cut out these little teeny tiny hearts. God love me. I cut out these little teeny tiny hearts that are normally kind of like around this Cupid's head. But then I switched it up and used them as kind of like heart confetti that he was kind of sprinkling down out of his cloud. And I thought that was cute. That was like a different way to use that. Now, once all that is done, here's me adding back in that balloon string that we talked about. I apologize if you just heard banging downstairs. We're trying this new thing with Peanut to help his reading comprehension, and today is the first day. He's been doing it on and off since he came home from school, and when I mean on and off, it's because he will sit there sometimes and just not do what he's doing, and so sometimes in his frustration, he kind of bangs on the table or what have you. He and I've talked about what are healthy ways to let out his frustration. That's not one of them, but my husband is downstairs hopefully taking care of that so that I can do this voiceover. So I did some white gel pen highlights, and now I'm going in and I'm using the lacquer from Hero Arts. I used the glitter, it's called sparkle lacquer, and the clear on these cards. So for the glitter, I went in, I added glitter to my confetti hearts. I also added just a couple of little dots on either side of it to really add to the confetti feel. And then I also went around and used the glitter to kind of add highlights to my clouds. And this is just like a fun little way to add more, sparkle and shine, but also make your cards a little bit more interesting texturally. And then for the clear, I used it on the blue balloon that was up front, and then also the heart balloon that he's holding, and that just added some shine as well. That doesn't have any glitters in it. It's more like a glossy accents. For my sentiments, I kept it super simple because there's a lot going on in these cards, but that's okay. They're beautiful. So here I treated with my anti-static tool. I'm going to stamp this in white pigment ink, and then I will heat emboss these using white detail powder, and then I just trim them out to be labels. I don't know, because I don't have the dies, I don't know if they have dies for the sentiments in their sets or not. I'm not 100% positive, but these ones were just kind of straight in a line, so it wasn't really a big deal to just trim them into labels for me. But yeah, I would be interested. I'll have to go look and see, because some companies only include dies for the images, but like Honeybee includes dies for the sentiments as well, which I super love. So for the sentiments, I did add some foam tape behind them, just to make them kind of stand out from everything else. So I'm back to the trash Scotch tape. I'm almost done with the roll though. So putting those on there and then just adhering them down. I'm trying to think. I think this was the last thing. No, the rhinestones. Okay, so we still have some to go. So I put these down with their little foam tapes, and then they have these most adorable. What did I do with them? Oh, they're over here from my picture taking. Let me just grab these. They have these most adorable little rhinestones. They come in these cute little cups. And this one is called Sparkle Magic Crystal. Hello. So good. I love the color because they are like rainbows. So I put them pretty much on everything in this card. Now, you can see my little quick sticks here. I haven't used this in 1,000 years. I need to maybe get a crystal katana. I don't know. Tell me what you use as your little pickup tool. Here you're about to see that I could never have a job as a surgical nurse. And clearly Operation, the game when I was a child, was not my forte. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like I was playing Operation with my tweezers and my quick sticks and my glue bottle. And I felt like I should have been yelling stat at somebody. It was not a great experience. I was struggling. So eventually I did switch over to the quick sticks and the glue. Sometimes I had to use my tweezers to help get the rhinestone off of the quick sticks. Sometimes it worked really well. It was hit or miss, but nonetheless, we got the rhinestones all where they needed to be. And then that is both cards. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed kind of getting 2 cards for one. Please go check out Erica. She is amazing. I appreciate your time, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.